الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. تعالى فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. شر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثات بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. Respected elders, guests, friends, brothers, this deen of Islam is perfect, and Allah Azza wa Jal has informed us of its completion in Surah Ma'idah. It is not in need of any addition or subtraction. This deen of Islam is not just complete because the Quran is complete from beginning to its end. Rather, it is complete because it came with a full, complete example in the life of Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. This deen of Islam is complete because it covers everything from the rights of animals to the rights of human beings to the rights of parents to the rights of believers and disbelievers to the rights of the trees to the rights of the earth. There is nothing left out. It is complete in that sense. And in the Quran, there are many parts of it, many verses of the Quran which we take for granted. Today I just want to reflect and a reminder to myself of one of my favorite verses, one of the most influential chapters of the Quran for me, I should say, is Surah At-Takathur. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. In these few beautiful verses we hear the Imam recite, and we've heard it most of our lives, and we've stood behind it, and we've listened to it, and it's begun and it's finished, and it was nice, and it feels nice to hear. But Allahu Akbar, the meaning of these verses are profound, and they shook many foundations beneath me, and I like to remind myself of that, and I'd like to remind you as well, inshallah, that we take away today a Jumaa Khutba that might begin our life again. We might change as Allah Azza wa Jalla Rahmah. He forgives and He purifies, and He gives you a second chance from Fajr to Dhuhr, Dhuhr to Asr, Asr to Maghrib, Maghrib to Isha. And this again the next day, and then Jum'ah to Jum'ah, and Eid to Eid, and Umrah to Umrah, and Hajj to Hajj. Let today be the Jum'ah, because you don't know if we make it to the next one. Let it be the Jum'ah that we change and we make a massive difference. And keep in mind, the Yawm al-Qiyamah is the day you die, but Yawm al-Qiyamah is also al-Jum'ah. It will be the day of Friday. So remember, with the blessing of Jum'ah comes many things to fear. And in these verses, these few verses, I'll just be brief as possible. There's so much to say. Although it's short, although it's small, its meaning profound and weighty. In fact, first of all, it is one of the Meccan surahs. And we know in Makkah, Allah Azza wa Jal recited, revealed Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Nas, Surah Al-Falaq, Surah Al-Kafirun, the very small verses, chapters, including small sections of other verses, but small, short amounts. And the reason why they were short and they were small amounts, because their meanings were deep and they had lots to say. And this was one of those profound chapters of the Quran, one of the Meccan surahs, At-Takathur. Allah Azza wa Jal, He begins with Al-Ha, and those who study the Lughat al-Arabiya in the actual language and its etymology, this word begins with something of a negation. For example, Lahu Al-Haku, Al-Hakum Takathur, Allah is saying something called Lahu has afflicted you. And there is something called Lahu, one way to understand Lahu, and then La'ib. Lahu being things of no benefit. Lahu being things that are halal for you. Lahu being things that are haram for you. And La'ib being things that are useless, that are wasted. In this particular thing, in this chapter of the Quran, Allah is specifically speaking about halal things. Lahu. Alhaakum takathur. That the lahu has afflicted you, that you are missing one, you are taking one good and missing the greater good. Though it is halal, it is distracting you and it is causing you harm. And the kind of things we're talking about are getting married. Some of the brothers are young, seeking marriage. It becomes important. And it becomes the only thing important. Or wanting a new car, or wanting some new clothes, or wanting some kind of education, or some kind of a degree, or wanting some new job, or a business. Before you know it, that becomes the focus of your life. You get distracted, and that's so important. And it's not haram, it is halal. And what is Allah saying about this? He's saying, Alhaakum takathur. For how long will that distract you from the more important thing? That yes, do the halal, but it should not distract you from the more important thing. And those of us sitting here who might think, well, I wonder if that applies to me. It does, because Allah has said so. Meaning we are in that affliction. Something bad has happened to us, and that is within the halal realm. We're not even talking haram. Something bad has happened in the halal area of life, that we chase it so much, that we become so engrossed in it, that we forget far, far more important things. That people will complain out of depression that I wanted to get married, it didn't happen. I wanted this business, it didn't happen. I wanted this child, it didn't happen. But Allahu Akbar, by the grand scale scheme of things, how much better off are you compared to other people? And the grand scale of meeting Allah, death is around the corner. Who cares? This would have been taken away from you later anyway. It just wasn't given to you. So Alhaakum takathur, it has afflicted you, but Allah is asking a question. For how long now? Will you stay like this? Will you stay chasing the halal things, forgetting the more important thing, the akhirah, that you will return to me, that you will come back to me? And it is a profound reminder. Every Jum'ah you need to think that, have I spent this week chasing my akhirah, or have I chased the dunya? And we know the hadith of Rasulullah, whoever makes the akhirah his focus, then everything before will also be blessed and work out. But whoever makes the dunya his focus, he will miss the akhirah and he will miss the dunya as well. And he will die miserable. He will die in sadness, in depression, constantly unhappy. Will you continue like this, vying, competing, chasing one another for the sake of my house, my car? I'm competing with that guy, I have to get what he has. Will you stay this way until you visit the graves? And the Mufassirin, they say in these verses, that yes, indeed, it is visiting the graveyard, but not the kind of visiting where we go and see the grave and then leave. No, this is specifically speaking about death. And we know that when you die, you don't stay in the grave. It is a visit. You won't stay in the grave forever. You will go and then you will be resurrected again. This is what is meant. حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ. Tafsir ibn Kathir says that it is also a threat, not just a reminder. It is a threat from Allah. That Alhaakum takathur. For how long will you compete and vie with each other, jealousies and things of dunya? Wait until I get you in your grave. It is also a threat. حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ. Kalla. Again, the science of the Arabic, that it is something that starts with a lam and it negates all that went before it. Kalla sawfa ta'lamun, and ending with the noon. This is something that Allah negates, that all of that halal things, all of the good things you chased, kalla, useless will they be. When you meet me, those good will